In the last video I added this ugly little button here which allows me to toggle elements on the page using Mutant. Real quick run over of that was we used the Mutant observable value primitive and set it up with show friends, and then like in this bit where it's rendered we have when show friends, so we use the when, which is watches the show friends observable, and when it's true then displays that section, otherwise it shows click to show friends, or just have show nothing if we want. So what I want to do with this is instead have kind of introduce the idea of tabs, so like 3 sections, and so it only shows one at a time. So let's see how I might do that. So I'm going to extend the pattern. I'm going to have show friends, what was it? Show friends, follows, and followers. And let's set these two as not showing to start with. And what are we going to do? I'm going to change this from toggle to select show friends. And what we're going to have it do is change not the current state. When we select it, we want it to definitely show the friends. So show friends will become visible, and at the same time let's set the other ones to false. And I'm going to duplicate this. Maybe we'll draw this up a little bit later. But it doesn't have to be verbose to start with, so we can see what sort of pattern we're dealing with. Great. So let's go like this, just replicating the pattern that we've already got for show friends. Great. So just to speak over what we've done there, we've now made part of the DOM so that it's like checks which for each section it checks whether we should be showing that, and if it's set to true then it will display that section. And for each of those observables we've set them up with the initial state true, false, false. So hopefully, and did I think we're missing a thing, which is like how do these get triggered. So let's remember where I put those buttons. Here we go. Here's a button. So let's make several buttons. Select show friends. Select show follows. Select show followers. Looks like I've made a typo there. Okay, let's just change this to read something simpler. And if you're paying attention, I just made another typo. Okay, so we're showing friends, and maybe we could style this a little bit later so that it shows a different color. Follows, followers. Nice. I reckon those styles should be a little bit different. So you could imagine how I might make these into more nicely styled tabs. I want to go back and do a little bit of refactoring now, because there's a little bit of repetition here, and I also want to introduce a new helper from Mutant called Computed. So actually this isn't totally terrible, but we use Computed anyway. So what we're going to do is use Computed here instead of all of this guff. So what Computed is it takes an observable and then it takes a function which gets, when the observable is updated, it's passed the value of that observable, and in fact it can take an array, so we can have obs1, obs2, and the function will be passed the value 1 and value 2 of each of those respective observables. So that's what we're going to do. I'll just leave that there as a reference for you. So we're going to have show friends, show follows, show followers, and I'm a big fan of the new fat arrow function, so we're going to use that. And the values are going to be, I'm just going to leave them as, these are the booleans that will be passed in. Or maybe it should be show followers, but I kind of want my line to be a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to do a bunch of logic just inside that computed. So if, you know what, I am going to rename it. So if show friends return, we want it to show this bit of template. Formatting's a little bit ugly, but oh well. Really don't know if this is much tidier. That's fine. I think we might be able to refactor this even a little bit more. So if show follows, so I'm a big fan of this early return pattern, which is like, if it hits this, then it hits this return, and it just won't get to these other bits of logic. Saves us writing a bunch of if-else-y stuff. Probably has some weaknesses. If we're not careful with our logic. Like a total eyesore at the moment. Okay, so computed will take in these observables, and whenever those any of those observables change, this function will get run, and it will give you the static, like the value at the time of that observable. So these two are not the same, although I've named them the same. So here's Dominic's friends. Here's his followers. That's broken, obviously. Great. So What is not working? I don't think it's a scope problem. Oh. No. Oh no, I can't do that because I've got this friends variable here. Do. What's going wrong? Let's just put a debugger in here. So this gets hit the first time it's run because it's being computed for the first time. True, false, false. That's good. So it hits this. And then we should see it run when I hit this again. So we should see false, true, true though. Maybe we'll see it false, false, false. Interesting. So we're seeing it 3 times because we did 3 sets, I think. False, true, false. False. So we should see something. Ah, I don't have a return. That is painful. Great. Okay, that's working. Let's look at some refactorings, because it looks fairly like there's quite a lot of repetition here. So I'm just pausing to think about how much to introduce from micro CSS. So so it really seems like this pattern is repeated quite a lot. The bits that change are the title. I don't even think we need the title because we've got that button, so let's just cut all of this out. baby Ziva in the background. Probably going to mess up my styling, but that's fine. Great. Is there anything else I want to show you? I think so. Let's introduce the concept of the struct. So a struct is another observable primitive. And it's basically an object which has predefined keys, I think. So this is going to replace this here. And then hopefully if I've got my stuff down right, shows section and in this context I think I can then just collapse this down because the whole thing is an observable if I've got things right. And let me see if I can do something funny. No, let's not be fancy. Oh, didn't include struct. Perfect. I'll show you how to do the styles really quickly. Can I do it really quickly? On the buttons. Where's that button? Yeah, so we can actually add, this is the wrong section. So we've got this click option, but we can also add a class. And we can make this an observable with depend on an observable. So the friends one will be active when, I'm going to use that when thing from helper function from Mutant, when the show section dot friends, when show section dot friends is true, then give this a class name active, something like that. So we'll give it a hone. See if it got added. Yeah, cool. So that one's active. When I click over here, we'll see that it's no longer active. So if I had the same, we can actually do, I think I've started making a button class. Reminder that this is shorthand for div.button, and you could probably go find it in app styles mcss button if you wanted to go read about what I've done in there. And there's this flag, a primary button will have like a strong color. So I'm going to change this to a primary button. And I'm just going to copy this code. What an eyesore. I probably want to dry that up, but I'm not going to do it right now. Follow. Okay, so obviously these styles need a little bit of work. Oh, okay, rough. And obviously their logic is, there's something wrong with my logic. Follows following. I don't think that's going to fix it. Oh, I've just got the things the wrong way around, I think. you select following, this could be dried up as well, but it's not over optimized. Whoop, whoop. Cool. Phew. Brief mention of another helper from Mutant is the map one. So here target is, say, friends. Map, the friends is actually an array, so map takes two arguments. It takes an array and an observable array and a function for rendering that. So I've just got this rendering these little links. Yeah, okay, so that's it for this section.